Colour or black and white? Which one tells a better story? Let's get into it. It is beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere I go. In this video, we're diving into the fascinating debate of colour versus black and white, and how each style transforms the way we approach street photography. We'll explore how these styles affect form and structure, shape the timelessness and mood of an image, and enhance texture and detail, and how they both affect storytelling. Finally, we'll discuss the impact of composition and light with practical tips and examples from my recent shoot in a very Christmassy Canterbury. Let's see how these two approaches can separately impact the way we see and capture the streets. Form is a key element of street photography. It's all about the structure of a scene and how everything comes together visually. It's the lines, the shapes, and the details that you as a photographer can reveal intentionally, or they can just display unintentionally, ultimately creating the foundation of your composition. Notice how in this image of the bus, the curves, the shapes, the lines, and even the vibe impact differently depending upon the black and white or colour treatment. The West Gate, a medieval gatehouse in Canterbury, is a perfect example of how black and white and colour bring out form and structure in very different ways. In this colour version, the warm golden lights draped over the towers really steal the show. They pop against the muted stone, giving the gatehouse a festive, modern vibe. The soft afternoon light picks up on the texture of the stone, while those white road markings in the foreground lead your eye straight into the scene, tying it all together. The black and white version, on the other hand, strips things back to basics. Without colour, you start noticing the rugged texture of the stone and the strong geometric shapes of the towers and the archway. The lights become striking highlights, less about their warmth and more about their bold shapes. These are the reasons why black and white so often excels when it comes to form and structure, especially with all of that great black and white contrast going on. Even the road markings with the black and white contrast take on more of a geometric, graphic and bold visual display, adding a sense of intentional balance to the composition. If you want to bring out form in your photography, focus on compositions with strong lines, interesting textures, shapes that stand out within the frame that you are shooting. And if you have light, use it along with the shadows to highlight the contrast between the subject, details, and the textures. Black and white can give you that timeless, classic feel, whilst colour brings out vibrancy and mood. Both are powerful tools depending upon the story that you're trying to tell. Street photography offers a unique way to shape mood and a sense of time with colour and black and white, each bringing their own emotional qualities. And you can harness these tools in a very powerful way to reach your viewers. Take this shot of a cobblestone street leading up to Canterbury Cathedral. The colour version edited with my Mix It Up preset, which I specifically designed so that it presents a certain vibe, uses warm, muted tones to evoke a nostalgic and warm atmosphere, grounding the scene in the present. In contrast, the black and white version, edited with my Noir preset, focuses on texture and light, creating more of a timeless, contemplative mood. Black and white simplifies the scene, emphasizing the light and shadow and drawing out the texture of the cobblestones and the weathered bricks. These old streets, even faces of older individuals, naturally suit black and white, where lines and details capture the passage of time. To capture timelessness and mood in your photography, think about the story that you want to tell. Use colour to emphasise vibrancy, context and energy with more of a vintage, nostalgic feel, and black and white to focus on texture, stark contrasts and timelessness. Experiment with both to discover how each style can change the way your photos feel and connect with your audience. If you're getting something from this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe for more in-depth photography discussions coming your way. Thank you so much for your support. Texture and detail are essential to creating depth and interest in your street photography. And both black and white and colour bring their own standout qualities depending upon what you want your audience to focus on in your images. Black and white allows texture to take centre stage by removing the distraction of colour, whilst colour can emphasise the finer details through tonal contrasts and vibrancy. This shot of the narrow street leading to Canterbury Cathedral demonstrates how texture and detail differ between colour and black and white. In the colour version, the muted tones of the cobblestones and the shop fronts create a soft, atmospheric vibe. There's a little bit of subtle depth with the warm oranges and the cool blues, while the shop signs pop with colour. The softly lit cathedral in the backdrop adds context without stealing any spotlight. In the black and white version, it's all about the texture. The cobblestones feel sharper as they are emphasised by the black and white contrast. The shop signs lose their colour, but in my opinion, gain a regal, historic charm, which is perfectly fitting for Canterbury's ancient streets. The cathedral becomes more dominant in the frame, standing out against the sky. Compared to the colour image, the black and white version definitely has more of a timeless narrative. To capture texture and detail effectively in black and white, look for surfaces with strong contrasts, such as brick walls, cobblestones, or any other detailed surfaces. Pay attention to how light and shadows both enhance textures and details in black and white. In colour, use vibrant tones to draw attention to smaller details. Look for complementary or contrasting colours to make textures stand out. Whether you choose colour or black and white, think about how each style affects what the viewer notices first: the texture, the mood, or the details. Experimenting with both can help you decide which best serves your scene. Storytelling is at the heart of street photography, and the choice between black and white and colour influences how the narrative of your photos unfolds. Each style highlights different elements, shaping mood and context. Take the example of this lovely vendor at Canterbury's Christmas market. The colour version, with its festive greens, reds and warm tones, conveys warmth and a little bit of playful energy, while the twinkling baubles, I think that's how you pronounce them, add context, and his pink beanie adds personality. The black and white version, however, the stripped out colours allow the vendor's expression to take the win, and the black and white emphasises the light and shadow contrast across the image. In my opinion, even though it's less atmospheric than the colour version, it's more timeless and introspective. Similarly, in my capture of a subject walking past a Christmassy decorated shop, the colour version's bright reds and yellows show off the festive fun of a rocket-themed Santa. If you're shooting in colour, you can try something like this, where I managed to snap the matching colours of the subject's coffee cup with the colours in the shop window. In contrast, the black and white version creates more of a sombre vibe that captures the light and dark area, contrasts and textures, making the story feel more sophisticated and a bit quieter. To tell compelling stories in black and white, focus on light and shadow and strong compositions that stand on their own. For colour photography, use vibrant tones to highlight details, create warmth and provide context. Both styles offer unique storytelling opportunities, so experiment with each to see how they transform your images. Composition, light and shadow completely transform a scene, and black and white and colour bring out different strengths. Black and white simplifies things, focusing on shapes, lines and contrasts, whilst colour adds warmth and vibrancy, highlighting specific details. Take the shop vendor next to the Santa toys, one of the rare shots of the day where light actually showed up. In the colour version, the warm sunlight enhances the reds, whites and wooden textures, creating depth to all of the Santa characters and the shop vendor, and also giving the scene a festive and inviting feel. In black and white, the light shifts to emphasise contrast and texture, drawing your eye to the vendor's face and the intricate details of the toys. This layered shot of this subject actually works better in black and white, in my opinion. Stripping away the distracting colours brings out the contrast and simplifies the composition. The colours in the foreground sign, they're way too jumbled, but in black and white, the whole scene feels more intentional and balanced. When working with light and shadow, think about how they interact with your composition to shape your story. In black and white, focus on strong contrasts, clean lines, and how shadows enhance form and texture. Look for shapes of structure that stand out. For colour, use light to bring out vibrant tones, add depth to your composition, drawing attention to key details, and adding warmth or energy. The ambient glow of a shop or a cafe almost always look better in colour, in my opinion. Whether you're highlighting bold contrasts in black and white or layering depth through careful use of colour with foreground objects, light and shadow and compositional techniques are essential tools when shooting either black and white or colour street photography. Now excuse me while I go to bed for a short while. So what do you prefer, shooting in black and white or colour, and why? That's the important question that I want to know. So please let us know in the comments below. I always love to hear your thoughts and experiences. As we discussed, each approach offers unique ways to tell a story. In truth, they're as good as each other. Black and white and colour photography are both extremely powerful in telling your stories of the streets. So get out there and don't be afraid to experiment. But if you're looking for more inspiration, then check out this video where I dive deeper into capturing street photography stories on grey days. Until we meet again, go forth and create.